So I think it was this Gunner got a concussion, and then Tracy with a hip for injury-wise.
On the hit with Jaxson, I know you talked about it, but what can you do to impress upon him, the value of his own health?
Listen, Jackson's an aggressive football player. He's on the sidelines trying to get himself out of bounds, takes a hit. He bounced up. He's a tough kid.
Do you like the decision to compete for that extra yard or two or whatever, or do you prefer to see him step out of bounds?
Yeah, obviously don't want him to take any hits that are unnecessary, but he was working his way out of bounds.
Mike, what was the... Sorry, you can go, Jordan.
How do you think he did overall protecting himself?
Yeah, Jaxson did a nice job. He slid a couple times for us. Did everything we asked him to do.
Mike, why was Abdul not out there the first couple series?
That was a coach's decision, my decision.
Why'd you make that decision?
Just based on how we went during the week. That was the decision I wanted to make.
Another disciplinary reason?
No, it was just my decision to not play him.
There was a report that he was missed part of or all of a team event. Is that true?
No, it was just strictly my decision.
How concerning is it now? This is the second time in 3 weeks he's had to be benched in this way.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but that's the way we kind of work with it this week.
Mike, I imagine that when you benched him the first time, you hoped that the message would get through. So the fact that this now 2 weeks later, it's the same exact thing again. Or something similar again. What?
I would just say we have great communication, and he's one of my favorite players on the team, and that was one thing that we talked about, and it was my decision to not play him this week.
Then why did it happen again?
This is one of the things that I decided to do.
What do you mean that's one of the things you talked about?
Well, just like I talk with Abdul, I talk with all our players, and I talked with Abdul about this week, and decided to not play him for the first two series.
But all your
being
players
on
aren't.
time still a problem. Has that been a constant problem with him?
It's just this was just strictly my decision to not play him this week.
But when you say
Early in
that's
the
decision
game,
based on.
When he came back in the game, you saw the kind of impact he had and the player that this guy is. And this is a kid that I support this kid highly. And for any young player that we have on the roster, whether it's Abdul or any rookie or young player, we're going to make sure we take them under our wing and continue to develop these guys because they're important to us. They're important to me. And Abdul is no different, just like Jaxson, just like, young players like Tracy and DA, all these guys that are stepping up in big time major roles. These are the guys that we're continuing to develop, continuing to grow, continuing to be pros. And, the standards that we have in our program are sky high, and everyone's, going to upheld to them. But that was my decision only. Anything else outside of it is going to be kept in-house.
Okay, Mike, but all of the players that you just named, all the players you're talking to, they're not committing infractions that are leading to them being benched. And you talk about how special he is and how much of a difference he can make. What he's doing is taking him off of the field where he didn't play for two series where you guys probably couldn't need him.
Yeah, and Connor, I just would say this, that was my decision to do that. And again, those are tough decisions to make, but that was my decision. And again, the kid, nothing with him. Everything that we did was my decision. And obviously, I'm sure he wasn't happy about it, which I understand. But I thought that was the best thing for the team, and it was my decision to move forward with it. And that's where we're at.
Do you regret the decision?
I don't regret the decision. I don't.
Is it tough to evaluate Jaxson and develop Jaxson in tough situations like this?
Say that again?
Is it hard to evaluate Jackson's performance and develop him in tough situations like that?
Well, I haven't, you watch the game, I have a feel for kind of what happened. I'll go back and look at the tape and evaluate it fully, but it's never just one person. We're a team. It's all three phases, all 11 guys on the field. We all got to do it together, and we all got to be better.
Mike, your first two games were competitive games, close games down to the wire. This one was not. What do you think of the physicality of your team compared to theirs? It seems like they were more ready for the fight than yours.
I thought our guys competed. There are some plays that we didn't make that we got to continue to look at and evaluate, whether from the coaching staff or from the player side of it, where we can get better at. And the good thing is we have a bye coming up that we can go and evaluate all that stuff and really have a great plan coming back after the bye. But yeah, today wasn't our best effort. It wasn't our best game here in a minute. So we'll go back and look at it and get it cleaned up.
Mike, the breakdowns on special teams from the start of the game,
missed tackle on the long return, and then obviously the return for a touchdown, and then I don't know what happened with Koo. His foot just got stuck. I mean, overall, you guys have been solid in special teams in certain areas. What happened tonight?
It just wasn't a great team effort. All three phases, everyone's got to step up. Everyone's got to clean up their part of the game. But it's never just one phase, never just one player. So we all got to do a better job.
What did Koo say happened on the field goal?
Well, I saw it live. Look at the ball just kind of slipped a little bit, so he wasn't sure if it was going to get set. Jamie tried to reset it, and then by that time it was kind of, he was already kind of out of his groove on it. So, it was just a tough bounce right there.
Mike, when you guys got the ball back down 2 possessions, there was a little lack of tempo. I mean, the huddling, running the ball. I mean, was there any consideration given there to try to speed it up to get down the field a little quicker?
Yeah, no, kind of. We went tempo on it. I was just trying to down 2 scores. We felt like we were just right in the game. Just wanted to get the drive going. I think I had an eye on the time on where it would get to where we really need to kind of go super fast. But I really felt like if we can just put together a drive and go ahead and get points, that would set us up to be in the game a little bit more. So you're right. You're kind of teetering on that line in terms of like going super, super fast and just kind of trying to stay within the game and not get too far away from it. But that's kind of where my mind was at as I was calling it.
The fourth and
I was surprised there, but you've been very aggressive. The 4th and 1 in your own 40 late in the first half. Why not go for that?
Yeah, that was kind of where that spot was at. Do I want to punt it back, kind of back them up, get a quick 3 and out, and then give us a little bit of field position? It was a toss up for me. I just didn't want to. I wanted to kind of play some field position game right there and give our defense an opportunity. So, that's one that I'll go back and look at if that's one where I could rip off another 4th down opportunity, right? But in the heat of the game, that's where I kind of felt.
Is that kind of
the way Drake may have played against you guys?
Well, he was obviously very productive, scrambling, throwing the football. He did a nice job with some of the explosive things. So, we got to button that stuff up in the back end, tie it in with the front end, and get everything a little bit cleaner.
Understanding that play, that 4th and 1, you said you have to go back and look over it, but just knowing how much you want to be aggressive, is that something maybe you would look at and say, regardless if it, they scored that field goal or not, was that a play maybe you'd want back just because it went against you, wanted to be more aggressive?
Yeah, we were like in go for 4th downs. I mean, you saw the times we ran it on 3rd down; those are pretty much all go fors. So, we want to be aggressive, want to stay aggressive. And when the opportunity comes up, we'll try and be aggressive. At that time, I just didn't feel like that was the spot for it. Depending, we get it, great. If we don't, now you're basically, making a 3-score game, where it's a little bit more difficult. So just trying to play field position and stay with it.
What was your sense of the operation with Charlie calling the
Say it again.
What was your sense of the operation with Charlie calling the defense?
I thought the operation was clean. on the headset. I was bouncing back and forth on the headset, so I can hear a little bit of it. But, he was calm. He was poised. We just all got to do a better job.
Do you think firing Shane Bowen was the wrong decision after watching the defense tonight?
I don't. I stand by Charlie. He'll continue to get better. I stand by our defensive side. I stand by all our coaches. We got great coaching staff here. And, these guys, everyone will step up. The coaching staff, the players, the surrounding support staff will all step up for us, right? And that's what we got to think about. That's will be our goal.
Was there any thought on that last series, talking about protecting Jaxson? He took some hits on that last one of not putting him out there again?
So it's like taking him out of the game? No, I wasn't in front of my mind at all.
Darius, how difficult is it to come out of a 17-0 hole there at the end of the first quarter? For a lot of these games, you guys have been scoring on first drives, and that's made things a little bit easier.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely didn't start tonight as fast as we have recently, but, obviously that's irrelevant. You got to get it going and find a way to get points on the board.
All right, let's talk about your touchdown for a second. First one you had now since I guess it was the Colts game, second to last game last season. Had to be good to get in the end zone again.
Yeah, it is. It was nice to finally get back in there.
What did you see from Jaxson today as he was able to get back into the lineup?
Yeah, I think he played well, played hard. He got out of some bad situations tonight and made some plays with his legs and his arm. And, overall, I think he played a pretty good game.
Some people would call it scrappy, some people would call it gritty, but there's no doubt that the Patriots came out with at least some type of agenda early in this game. How did you think the guys responded to it, and what did you think about the way they came out?
Yeah, I mean, they definitely came out with some intensity. You know, you can see why they're, 10-2, and we probably didn't get off to as fast a start as we needed to, but I felt like we kind of came there and punched back a little bit, and we just weren't able to get us all the way back in it.
Yeah, you guys did get the 2 second-half touchdowns, and there for a minute it looked like you might be able to make it a one-score game.
Yeah, we got it's a 2-possession game, and the defense got the stop, and we had a chance to go down and get a 1 possession, and unfortunately we weren't able to go get points right there.
He's a competitor. He wants to get more yards, squeeze every little bit out of it. I don't think it was a cheap shot, but we're going to do everything we can to protect our quarterback.
The best ability is availability for a quarterback.
Yeah, and it's hard to take that that competitive drive out of him. You guys have seen that all season in the preseason. He's going to fight and claw for extra yards as much as he can, and he's a tough kid, and you love to see that at your quarterback. We also need him for the long haul.
Did you say anything to him in the moment, or you just kind of let that sit and figure he realized that one there?
Yeah, I told him earlier today, let's be smart, protect ourselves, and obviously he's not going to listen because he's just so competitive and loves the contact, and that's just how he is. And we're gonna have to keep talking to him. Maybe he'll listen to us one of these days.
How much of his normal confidence did he exhibit to you guys in the huddle and at the line of scrimmage?
Yeah. He's just the ultimate competitor, in my opinion. Super poised, kind of a calming presence back there as well. Just super in the moment. Brings us together. Doing a great job, and we got to be better for him and around him. Get the run game going more and hold up a little better in pass protection for sure, and make him feel comfortable back there.
Theo, before you knew it, all of a sudden it seemed like it was 17-0 there in the first quarter. They struck quickly and in a variety of ways. How difficult was that to come out of that early hole?
Yeah, I mean, we definitely didn't start the game the way we wanted to. We had a lot of opportunities to come back, but definitely not the way you want to start a football game.
This team has done a good job on its first drives for a lot of the season in getting quick scores. What wasn't working right that was disjointed, that did not allow you to get an early score?
Yeah, I think they had a good plan for us coming out. I think we just got to do a better job of executing the plays that were called. But I think they had a good plan for us.
You were one of the players who wound up taking a helmet hit. It seemed like they were overly aggressive from the very beginning, almost like they were trying to prove some kind of point. When stuff is borderline like that, how does that impact how you're going to play the game?
I mean, every single time you put your helmet on, you're expecting to play a physical brand of football. That's how we do things here. So we kind of knew that going into it. That's kind of what they try and hang their hat on. I think we need to do a better job of combating that.
When you look at Jaxson today, it was his first game back after being in the protocol for a couple of weeks. What did you see from him in terms of his confidence, his demeanor in the huddle at the line of scrimmage? How did he look to you?
Yeah, I mean, he looked like the same confident, young kid we've seen all season. I thought he did a great job today. Just got to keep building across the board.
Sorry if you were asked this. What was going through your mind on the bench at halftime?
Just what transpired. I usually sit on the bench after everybody leaves. I just sat a little bit longer today. Just how quick they got up on us. Like I said, they executed well on all three phases, better than we did, and that's kind of just what was going through my head, just how we can be better, get back in the game.
Ryan, I know you mentioned you think the message got through.
Mm-hmm.
Abdul, he's not the only rookie on this team, but he is the only one that's been benched now twice in the last 3 weeks. So I guess big picture question, why? Why do you think this keeps happening as one of the leaders on this team, someone who gets to know him and sees him quite often, and certainly more than we do?
I think it's just an honest mistake. He's human. He makes mistakes. At the end of the day, he does have to be a pro, and he does have to, take accountability, which he did for what happened. But I'm just trying to help him be the best he can and try to help him through his rookie campaign. That's all.
Brian, we'll take a couple more. You were a rookie once.
Yeah.
Did you have problems adjusting to the life and the rules and the regulations. Do you remember back to that? Some guys do, some guys don't. It seems like he is.
I think everybody go through, rookie pains when you just now get into the league. Everybody has different challenges. I had mine. He's dealing with his. As long as he takes accountability and, take it like a man, then, I can't, we human. We all make mistakes, so.
Was it justified with the bench?
Yeah, I let my team down today. First 2 drives I was out. They scored 17 points. I take responsibility for that. I got to be out there. I got to do better.
Do you feel the message got through?
Yeah.
This has not happened before. Mike Kafka was the coach. So is there anything happening since he's been the head coach that you're not doing, or is this been?
No, it's not him. It's me. It's not him.
What's you said it got through this time. What's different this time as opposed to the first time, or why it got through?
I won't say it's something different. It's just like, I just got to be better. As simple as that.
What's that feeling when you're sitting on the bench or just standing on the sidelines watching your team play?
It's sickening. Sick to my stomach.
You address your teammates and, tell them you're disappointed and things
They know. They know how I feel. They know where I stand. Like I said, I let them down today.
When did you find out you weren't going to play the first 4?
I've been earlier this week.
How difficult have these last few weeks been for you?
It hasn't been the best, but like I said, I got to keep moving on, keep persevering. I've been through worse things, so like I said, I'll be all right.
Off the field, has the acclimation been to the NFL a little bit more challenging than you expected?
I guess you could say that, but I'm not going to use that as an excuse. Like I said, I got to be better. I got to take pride in what I do, be where I have to be at. Simple as that.
How would you assess your performance in this?
Not good enough because we lost.
Jaxson, could you take us through the hit and what happened on that play? You're running to the sidelines. Just what did you see? What happened there?
Scrambling out of the pocket, trying to get the first down, and got me a good hit.
It sounds like a broken record, Jaxson, just asking you about the hits and taking them and protecting yourself and things like that. Is there anything you would have done different on that one?
No. Look, I understand the question, but this is football. I'm gonna get hit if I'm in the pocket or outside the pocket. I feel like I've played this way my whole entire life. There shouldn't be any shocker to anybody if you've followed along with my career. And we're not playing soccer out here. You're gonna get hit. Things happen. It's part of the game.
It seemed after that play, there were some times you could have run and maybe you didn't run as much until Tracy got hurt. Was that kind of your thought process on some of those plays where maybe you just didn't want to move and just kind of, go with a different idea?
Not really sure what plays you're talking about specifically.
There were some, I think there was some, well, I'll ask you were there times when you thought about running and maybe thought, hey, after that hit, not run this time?
No, it didn't hurt, so that didn't play any thought in my mind.
Do you think taking that aggressiveness away from you would take you away from your game?
Absolutely. Like I said, I played like this my whole life. You can turn on my high school tape, you can turn on my college tape. It's not a shocker to anybody. It's how I've played. It felt like if you just watch the game, I did slide. I did avoid a lot of hits. So, you're going to get hit. It's football.
This may come off as a dumb question, Jaxson, but when you're playing in high school, when you're playing in college, the competition is a little bit different. The size, the speed, the physicality is a little bit different, where maybe those hits here are a little different than the hits you would have been taking in high school, so you feel them a little bit different. Does that factor in at all? Or
my body feels good. I got knocked out of a game against Chicago on a fluke play. You watch the hit, I lose control of the ball, and I don't brace myself because I'm trying to recatch the ball. It's not because of the hit. It's just because I lost the ball. So, just like any other league, you take new steps. There's bigger, faster players. But my body feels good. So, I'm going to play aggressive. I feel like if I just turn into a complete pocket passer, that's just not how I want to play the game. I feel like there's an advantage to me using my legs. So, yeah.
Jaxson, is there a part of you that looks at Drake on the other side and says, that's where I want to go, that's what I want to do for this franchise, what he's done for that one?
Yeah, he's done a great job. I'm not into comparisons. Everybody's journey is different. So, I've known Drake for years, and he's done a great job. He also went through a struggle his first year too. So, everybody's journey is different. I'm just trying to do my best to change this franchise around a little bit, and do my part. So, just got to stay diligent in that.
Did tonight's game plan make you too much of a pocket passer?
No, I didn't think so. I mean, I just think we got down. Like, we got down big early. Game plans have to change. Like, you're just playing catch up the rest of the game. It's a little bit different when, it's a tight game. You can really stick to a game plan. I felt like, me trying to extend my plays in the pass game and keep my eyes down the field was more sufficient than me trying to run and get 5 yards. So you're trying to play catch up a little bit in those situations.
Jaxson, what did it mean for you to see Theo kind of respond like he did? I know it resulted in a personal foul, but he went got right up to your back when that play happened.
Yeah, I would do the same for him, and that's kind of that's a relationship that me and him have. You saw the O-line get in there too. Like, we all got each other's backs. It's not fun losing. It's not fun with this losing streak. It doesn't look super bright from the outside, but we have each other's backs, and sometimes it just takes time to turn things around. And I think that obviously we want that now. Everybody wants that now. I'm hoping that we can continue to build and find any way that we can, just find a little bit of momentum.
Jaxson, the way you fell behind as a team today, do you feel like it kind of took you guys out of sync a little bit, and it seemed like you were kind of scratching and clawing, trying to fight back into it, and never really got to that situation where you felt like you were comfortable?
Right. Well, yeah. We got beaten all 3 phases of the game, so when you get down like that, it's not ideal, and I felt like we had a little bit of a spark when we were able to score that. Motor had that touchdown. We got the 2-point conversion. We were down 2 scores, and defense got us the ball back, and then we didn't capitalize on it. So, like you said, like, we were just scratching and clawing. So, you kind of have to, when you're in that situation, your game plan is kind of out the gate a little bit, and you're just trying to find any way you can to play catch up.
Jaxson, your teammates admire your competitiveness, your fire, but they also have been telling you to protect yourself better. What do you say to them?
I thought I did a good job tonight.
No, what do you say to them when they tell you you need to protect yourself better?
Just tell them thanks for looking after me.
Jaxson, are you looking forward to the time, and are you confident that eventually this will sort itself out, that you will play with the aggressiveness that you want to? You will, the coaches will realize that you're doing that, but still protecting. This has become a major talking point around you now.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to be that way about a lot of other quarterbacks. Is this just a growing phase that you have to get through, or is it something different?
Look, I'm going to keep playing aggressive. Hopefully everybody can take a second to watch my tape going back to high school and realize that this is not a shock. Like, I play the game aggressively. I took one hit that people are talking about. I slid, got out of the way of a lot of hits. So I appreciate people, wanting to, me to be healthy and all that stuff. And I want to be healthy too. But I play this game aggressive. So I'm not going to just change how I play the game.
Do you think on that play, though, that you should have stepped out of bounds a little sooner there, or what was your take on the play?
I was trying to get a first down.